Hello, my name is Marino, and today I'm going to talk about the Animal Farm excerpt number 3. The first thing that I want to show is the 10 bullet points that I'm going to talk, and with this, I think that we can start with the conversation. So, the first thing that I want to talk is the food shortage that was going on in this excerpt or time of the novel. Why? Because I think that this is very important because it shows us the decline of the animal farm. This food shortage is represented with the animals and the rations that were supposed that they were receiving super good ration with the propaganda of lies that Napoleon was giving to the outside world that were the humans. And this was a lie, and these lies made me think the type of leader that Napoleon was being in that moment, that is a totalitarian type of leader, because as many totalitarian leaders of the 20th century, they use the lies to convince or persuade people that to their benefit. So, as Napoleon used their lies to persuade people to think that animal farm is a good farm in which the animals are eating super great rations and they are free, show us the type of leader that Napoleon was. Also, I want to talk about one of the main causes of the food shortage, besides the type of leader that was Napoleon, and is the winter, because these chapters occurs during the winter, and as many of you know, during the winter there is not enough sun to the plants, and without the sun or the sun that the plants need to grow, plants or crops doesn't produce the food that was expected to be used or served in this case. Also, I want to talk about the characters that are involved in this chapter, which are, I think, the most important: Napoleon, Squealer, Mr. Wimper, and humans. I refer to humans as one character because, as you can see, Mr. Wimper is also human, but I didn't include him as a character because humans, in this case, humans, not Mr. Wimper, are the ones who are making propaganda to the animal farm, in which they say that the food situation in that farm was really bad, which in a point was true. However, they exaggerate what this situation was in the farm, saying that the animals were dying and that the food situation was so hard that they were eating themselves so they can at least survive. But in a certain point, they were in a true thing. Also, with the totalitarianism, I want this to connect to the change of the anthem of the animal farm, because as many of you know, the animal farm is anthem was a Beast of England, which was anthem of the rebellion that they did to Jones, or in this case to the humans. And this was changed by Napoleon because he said that the rebellion was end, and this anthem was a rebellious type of anthem, and as I said, was the rebellion was end. So this anthem change made the was a symbolic thing because it shows us how Napoleon was transforming into the thing that he most hated, that was Mr. Jones. And also I want to talk about another symbolic thing, that is the rebellion of the hens. Why? Because a snowball was disappeared during the farm, during these chapters after the rebellion, because Napoleon wants the power. And this is something that I relate with Machiavelli and his phrase of the means and the end, meaning in this case the means are the use of force and the end is the power. However, is most important the end or the means? In this case, I think that it's most important the means than the end, because not all the things must be related to a power and must be ethical, which wasn't good used by or developed by Napoleon. These leaders and these things that I talk, I can relate them to the two prescribed themes of the IB, which are social organizations, and sharing the planet. The first thing, that is social organization, can be seen with the type of leader and system that Napoleon is applying, because the IB guide says that the social organization is a theme in which students must explore how communities are established and how they develop, which in this case is how the totalitarianism is developed in a community, which is the farm. Then is the sharing the planet. The IB guide says that this is the way in which humans or persons or communities face some problems or issues, and as you can see, the issue that with the animal farm is confronting is the food shortage that was in the farm, which made that the leaders, which was Napoleon, faced him and tried to solve that problem, but in a way which wasn't ethical. And as I was saying with Machiavelli, I think that is most important the means than the end, and that's all I want to talk about.